Welcome to 0 to 60.
I'm Matt McChesney. I am the owner and operator of 6-0 Football Academy and 6-0 Equipment. Played at the University of Colorado from 2004. 6 years in the National Football League on both sides of football.
I'm Matt McChesney. This is 0 to 60. That is Coach Prime. We are at the University of Colorado. Brother, thank you so much.
All right. 0 to 60. We're rolling.
Welcome to 0 to 60. Happy, Tuesday? Happy Tuesday to everybody out there. I'm your host, Matt McChesney. Bailey's on the ones and the twos. Coach Mike Sanford from 92.5 Altitude out here, Boise State alum and multiple head coach all over college football, friend of a coach. Will be joining us in the second half of the show today about 1:30. We got a lot to talk about before then and with him. So, Bailey, let's pay some bills and get rolling, bro. We got a lot going on today.
Oh, yeah, we got a lot going on. It's going to be a great show today. And this show is brought to you by BetOnline. BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting. From the earliest odds to in-game live betting, BetOnline provides you with constant real-time odds at action and the ability to watch the games as they happen. With the largest selection of odds on everything from football, NBA and college basketball, NHL to UFC and boxing. Head to the website today to see why BetOnline is America's most trusted site for online wagering. BetOnline, the game starts here. Matt, it's Tuesday. How we feeling? How you doing?
Doing good, man. Shit, we're making Sports Center and shit. I'm doing great.
Let's talk about that. So we obviously had Deion Sanders Jr. on the show yesterday. He discussed Travis Hunter, and I'm just going to go ahead and play the clip. This clip has really taken off. Several media outlets have, shown this and credited us, and we appreciate them. But take a look at the original clip.
He receives no NIL from the collective. And he's one of the biggest donors to the collective, meaning he's paying a lot of other people's NIL on his team. So he's actually paying a lot of guys on the team.
He gets, he lives off his endorsements and then contributes his endorsements money back to the NIL to help them field the team.
He's paying at least 10, 15 guys NILs on the team. Like from his budget.
What a stud. What an absolute stud of a human being.
His own money.
Matt, yeah. So, first off, that says miles about Travis, his character, and shout out to Travis Hunter for doing that. Sports Center posted this, and this is huge news. I've never heard of a player doing this thing, this new era of college football. Matt, have you?
I've heard of guys giving back and buying people gifts and shit, but not actively giving money back to the program so they can go get more players.
Right.
And part of me, I'm torn on this. I love the fact that he's doing it because he's a leader. He's Travis Hunter, right?
Mm-hmm.
I hate the fact that he has to.
Right.
Like the Colorado people need to pick their game up now. Mm-hmm. You've got the Heisman Trophy winner contributing his own money to the NIL to get players to help the team win. How bad do you want them to win? What are you doing to help exactly? So this is incredible. It's a monumental thing that was talked about yesterday on 0 to 60. Big shout out to Buck for coming on the show and dropping dimes. It's what he does. Bucky's the point guard up there, bro. If you need opportunity, that's who you go through. He'll get you the ball.
Yeah.
It's just I'm blown away by the selflessness of him, the high character. He is such a fucking stud of a football player, but he's an equally good dude, bro. Like, you're not going to have to worry about Travis Hunter out at 3 a.m. with a bunch of strippers, like, drunk, driving his Lamborghini 100 miles an hour. Like, he's at the crib playing video games. He doesn't like, he's an introvert, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think, I read something the other day that, he used to just take his girl to parties and sit in the car and wait outside He doesn't want to go fuck with everybody inside. So I think that he is about as special as it gets, and this story took off as it should. I mean, that's pretty crazy for that to happen. And to get it dropped on the show like that too. That's why you come here. That's why 0 to 60 is what it is. So the show is growing like crazy. We're at 15,000 subscribers on YouTube. We really appreciate all of the support. Obviously, without y'all, there is no show. Amen. But and I are thankful to say the least. So pretty cool.
Yeah. Extremely grateful. I mean, it's unbelievable when you just scroll and you see that, and I'm like, man, they credit us, and I know Matt, how frustrated Matt gets when people don't credit you, but when you see the biggest outlets crediting your show, it's pretty damn awesome.
Yeah, like I'm bitching about people crediting me, and then Nick sends me this at school. He's like, "You're on Sports Center," and I was like, "Holy, here we go." So like people, look, if you're gonna steal content and put it as your own, I know the way social media works. I know you're getting paid. I'm not stupid. Okay, because I'm getting paid. So what the fuck? Just tag people. This would be like us posting this and not tagging Bucky.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like come on. So, the information that you get on this show is different. It's different than the information Klatt gets. It's different than the information DNVR gets. It's different than the information Uncle Nelly gets. Like, you're not going to get a perspective like you're going to get from me on this show about this team and everything else we talk about. But most of it is centered around Colorado and the bus these days, and it should be. I mean, this is the mecca of college football, and it's only getting better because this freak that they just signed today is about to be a first rounder at 3 technique in a couple of years.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that, Otis.
I'm excited about the future, to say the least. So, like and subscribe. Super chats and subs are open. We appreciate everybody. Make sure you follow everything on social media, and we're rolling.
Yeah, absolutely. And shout out to Sports Center, Complex. I mean, Yahoo, Bleacher Report. Every outlet that reach out and credit us. We appreciate you. I mean, that's unbelievable. And shout out to Travis Hunter, man. For him to do that, he's getting thrown in the media all different types of way right now, but for him to be doing that and for us to even find that out, because he's been doing that, for us to find that out, and shout out to Travis for sure, man.
That's the thing, and think about this too. Travis, usually when people do something good, they can't wait to tell everybody to get patted on the back. Travis didn't tell anyone. Shit. Right. Bucky had to tell everybody on our show at the end of the season.
Yeah. That's true.
You feel me? Like, Travis doesn't care about all this. He knows he's him.
Yeah.
Good is when you talk about yourself and you're like, look how good I was. Great is when other people talk about you.
Yeah.
Greatness right there. That's what it is. Great. That's legendary greatness right there. And look, I can only imagine what the offseason is going to be. And, Vegas is tanking like crazy. So I personally want Shador to go to the Raiders, so I can see him play twice a year in division and for real, dog, that would be super fucking dope. So I think that the sky's the limit here. Yeah, thank you. Take for Shador. They're smart.
Well, speaking of the Raiders fans have given up on the season. Unfortunately, I don't know if you watched. Matt, did you watch Monday Night Football last night?
I mean, I tried to watch the Falcon Raider game. It was it was worse than a preseason game.
Yeah.
And the Minnesota Chicago game. Look, Caleb Williams is on the fuck it plan. He's just like, you know what? This is how I play quarterback, and if you don't like it, fuck it. He's just out there doing whatever he wants. He's not Josh Allen. So Josh Allen may look like he's in chaos, but he's in total control. Caleb Williams is in chaos.
Yeah, Caleb Williams got a lot going on.
Oh shit! Oh fuck it! Oh, we're spin move here too. Oh fuck it! Oh,
no,
oh fuck it! Go back this way. Fuck it! Like, that's some shit that you do on Madden. Like, you're sprinting away and you hit the wrong button and he high steps and shit.
Yeah.
What is he?
What is he doing?
I don't know what he's doing, but I'm saying, like, it's this entire football world that we live in here and how crazy it is right now. It's fucking crazy. NIL is crazy. College football's nuts. They can't figure out a schedule. People are freaking out about shit. It's like TMZ and college football have now somehow like become a thing, and everybody's talking about people's relationships and shit. Holy fuck. We didn't have this much coverage about people's relationships when Bobby Paterno was banging the GAs at fucking Arkansas and wrecking his motorcycle with them on the back. They didn't even cover him like this, and these two are like,
yeah, this is insane. This is like, I mean, they're the number one headline. This is insane.
For real, dog. It's crazy. It's crazy. So, look, man, Colorado is the mecca of the college football world right now, and I wish that they could have beat Kansas. Fuck.
Yeah, imagine. But I think the future is bright for Colorado, Matt. And let's discuss some of the future involving Colorado. Colorado, let's discuss this. Colorado, we've discussed this previously, has landed Alabama transfer defensive lineman D-tackle Jaheim Otis. He's big defensive tackle out of Alabama, and he redshirted during the season and sit out, and then he decided to transfer, and now Colorado has landed him. He's a large human being, to say the least. And in doing so, when he committed to Colorado, he put out a message on his Instagram story to all recruits to Colorado saying, all defensive players that want to come win a national championship, hit my DM. We're bringing the college football playoff championship to Boulder. Matt,
damn right we are.
How does that make you feel seeing that? And what do you expect to see out of Otis coming to Colorado?
Well, I expect to see him continue to grow under that man's tutelage right there, Coach Sapp and Coach Lewis. And as a guy who played 3 technique at CU, this is a very important position. And you've got first-round talent in the building, period. Last year, we had really, really good technician, try-hard players that are, into the draft. Our outside guys are very high draftable, but our inside guys are, Jose's 5'10", like let's be real. Crooks isn't an NFL player. Like, they're good try-hard. McNeil, we'll see what he does moving forward, like how good he can be consistently. He seems like a pretty good player. They got some guys, but like they didn't have any consistency, right? They had a new guy show up pretty much every week. This kid has the ability to just be an absolute every down monster. And you got Branch in there too, so you got some major size in there now. Yeah. He's a great player. I mean, talking to Coach Kaplovic, who's the O-line coach down at Alabama, said he gave him fits in practice. They're just remember what Duke said on Friday. I'll bring it up again. When you start fortifying other team with starters, Alabama's fortifying Colorado with a starter.
Yeah.
Period. Like, and CU's doing it with other guys. So that's how you know your program's there. And look, he's right. They're really building something in Boulder, bro. This kid that they got in from Jacksonville State, this pass rusher kid, DeBerkashaw, whatever his name is, oh my God, that kid is a fucking monster. So that's what I'm saying. Guys are now lining up to come here. Warren Sapp will have this guy chewing glass, bro. It'll be I'm excited to watch big man ball. Let's go, Otis.
Yeah, and this is no small human being. Like him sitting at the Coach Sapp.
That's a large human.
Yeah, good Lord. I'm excited to really see what he does in the Big 12. Man, and I mean, under Coach Sapp and Coach Lewis's tutelage and coaching, I think he could really develop. And Trent Richardson came on Coach JB's show, talked about Otis coming to Colorado. And people, when he entered the portal, or he redshirted and then entered the portal during the season, and he has some behind the scenes family stuff going on that Trent mentioned, but I never questioned the type of player he was. Said he's a hell of a player, and I think that Colorado getting him, he's going to wreak some havoc in the Big 12 for sure. I'm really excited to see it.
We're about to have an SEC caliber football team in the Big 12. That's what everybody needs to understand. We're going to have an SEC team of 4- and 5-star players in the Big 12, where you're usually getting high or low 4, high 3-star players and a bunch of like other people's transfers that are just trickled down. Now you're getting a high 5-star and high and low 5-star and high 4 stars into your program as high school players with a couple 3-stars sprinkled in. And you're getting the number 1 player in the portal from Alabama. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're getting SEC talent. all over the field. So get your mind right, Boulder. This shit is about to get real fun. Like, if you thought we were good last year, hold on to your ass.
Yeah, amen to that. I'm excited to see, especially defensively. In the Big 12, him coming from the SEC, and we've already seen him play for Alabama. I believe 12 games actually, and he's already wreaked havoc. So I'm excited to see what he does in the Big 12.
Defense next year is going to be ruthlessly good.
Yeah, I'm so excited to see it. Let's talk about another transfer commit, offensive lineman. Colorado secures a transfer. His name's Carter Miller. He's from UL Monroe. He's a center. Matt, do you know anything about this? What are your thoughts on this? Another offensive line commit for Colorado. Go ahead.
Yeah, I watched some film on this kid. He's mean at the point of attack. He's a finisher. Another guy to come in and compete for that job. I know Cash Cleveland was a freshman All-American, but go prove it again. We'll see what happens with Zelinkas. He hasn't entered the portal, so we'll see if he does after the bowl game. Bates is in next week, so there's one thing that's consistent here is this kid is a prick at the point of contact. Josh Bates is a prick at the point of contact. Like,
yeah,
there's a pattern emerging here. Like, they're looking for a really nasty point of the spear that knows what they're doing. So that's what you're going to get with this kid, and he can also play guard, and that's what you're going to get with Bates, who can also play guard. So, I'm excited about this, but we'll see, man. Adding depth to the offensive line is a big key, and they're definitely doing that.
Yeah, and I mean, this makes me excited. They're bringing in competition. I mean, that's only going to make that offense.
Carter is a mean son of a bitch, bro. He finishes people on film big time.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what you need, that nasty out of an offensive lineman, especially at center. Him coming from UL Monroe, I'm really excited to see what he does. And like I mentioned, bringing that competition, I mean, only develops that entire offensive lineman. No one's job is safe like we saw last year, but I think going into next year for Julian Lewis or whoever's at quarterback, the offensive line is going to be developed and have some competition.
Yeah, well, no one's job safe, period.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you know you're on a good football team.
Yeah.
Go out and have a couple of bad practices in a row and see how fast it is before you're replaced. That's what, that's iron sharpens iron, bro. That's what it is. So, when you have bad football teams that use that mantra, iron sharpens iron, it's like, well, I guess dull is dull. Dull on dull doesn't help. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you got to be good for that mantra to work, and CU definitely is that. God damn, they are getting the guys they have coming in, all the guys they have on deck, the high school kids, the development, the coaching. I'm excited.
Yeah, I am very excited as well. And Coach Prime was asked about his transfers coming into Colorado, and he says, I think we secure commitments from darn near everybody. I'm going to go ahead and play that clip. Take a listen.
Glad to be back. We never start recruiting, so I haven't left doing that. We have some wonderful, phenomenal young men up here that we want to join this magnificent team. I think we've secured commitments from darn near everybody. They probably had not committed yet, but I know what I know. And they're going to help us in tremendous positions, and the quality of the young men we're getting are phenomenal. So I'm proud of the staff, the recruiting staff, Coach Ray and so forth, the coaching staff, and everybody's involved, and especially people in the city, because when these kids go out, they know what they're here for, and our Buff Nation is welcoming them with open arms, and it's a phenomenal thing. It really.
There you have it, Matt. Your thoughts on
I want to elaborate on that here for a second. Like, this couldn't have happened to a better university.
Mm-hmm.
Because for so long, when Coach Prime was in college and in the NFL, Colorado was a fucking powerhouse.
Yeah, sure.
He knows what it used to be. Period. He knows. He played with a ton of guys against and with guys in the NFL that were from Colorado. He knows what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Pac-12 experiment and the skid from 2006 on, it was bad. It was just bad football with the exception of a couple of years. Mm-hmm. And the entire fan base and the alumni base and all the ex-players, we took it personal. personal. Like there were years where I felt like sick to my fucking stomach around Christmas time because it's just laughable. We're laughable. Like people laugh at you and shit. You should be in the Mountain West. Like it fucking sucked. Especially when you were there at it, like when I was, it was a special time in the history of the university. So Coach Prime getting this opportunity in Boulder and resurrecting this program to what it is now and what it can be down the road, and him talking about wanting to put his name up on the Flatirons and like, bro, he's going to be here until he wins a natty. Like that's his goal, and he's got the ability to do it. So
yeah.
I'm telling you, bro, this is as cool as it gets, and I'm so glad it happened the way it did. You know, I think back a lot to that conversation with Rick George and Joel on the phone about, you know, please go for greatness, don't go for comfort, go for greatness, hire Prime, and they did it. You know, talking to Ray on the phone 2 weeks before they hired him, like, okay, if we end up doing this, how can you help? How can you facilitate? What can you do with the players? What do you know about this guy and that? Blah, blah, blah. And just sitting there like, man, I can't believe this shit's about to happen. They're about to fucking hire Deion Sanders. Mm-hmm. So, you know, for it to work out the way it did, which I thought it would, number one, that's satisfying also. But at the same time, dude, just the ability for this man to turn it around as fast as he did and to have just a lock on college football and the players and everybody. Like, if you're good, you want to go play for Coach Prime, bro.
Yeah.
Like I say to the kids in the gym, if Coach Prime recruits you, it validates you as an NFL prospect.
Mm-hmm.
Period. Mm-hmm. He's not just taking on developmental projects. He wants guys that translate to the NFL out of high school. And those guys are usually pretty good recruits. So I'm blown away by just, you know, sometimes I have to step back and really pinch myself and be like, this is real. This is happening. So pretty fucking incredible.
Yeah, and one thing I'm going to mention, and you mentioned something about Coach Prime bringing in players that from high school can translate to the NFL. I think we're seeing that with Bill Belichick at North Carolina. I mean, we've talked about this on this show, listening to his speech saying if he were to go to a college football program, what it would look like. Bill Belichick brought in a transfer from Holy Cross, I believe, yesterday, his first signee from the transfer portal. And someone else, a former player that coming from the NFL to college football coaching, Michael Vick, interviewed at Norfolk State and Sacramento State. Matt, what are your thoughts on Michael Vick coming to college football coaching? I'm really curious as for your take on this.
Cool. Let's see what happens. Let's see if he can coach. Let's see if he can do it. He's never coached.
Yeah.
Never been a head coach. So, I mean, we'll see. I mean, unless he was head coaching the Mean Machine at the Penn, you know, I don't think that he was. So this is a good idea. Give him the job and see if he can run with it. Shit, bro, the way this is going, I might go fucking up to Northern Colorado and tell them to give me the fucking job.
Yeah, like
I mean, for real, dog. Since it's ex-player celebrity coaches, let's go, dog. What are we talking about? Yeah. Turn Northern Colorado into a powerhouse, recruit the state, develop some players, and then take over for Prime when he goes to the Hall of Fame.
That's awesome, man. That's hilarious. But I love that, man. That would be awesome. But yeah, Michael Vick interviewed for Sacramento State and Norfolk State. This is going to be interesting. If Michael Vick,
where would you want? You want to be in Norfolk and Virginia, or you want to be in Sac? Because Sac State's got like a $50 million NIL collective, and they're trying to go to the Pac-12 and shit. Like,
Matt, I don't know if you saw this. So when Adam Schefter is the one who broke it, and he reported it, you know, that Sacramento State has $50 million in NIL funds, and Doug Gottlieb, I don't know if you know him, is now the coach at Green Bay, Wisconsin, I believe, in basketball, but he works for Fox as well. But he calls out Shefty saying, Jesus, Shefty, edit what agents tell you, 0.0% chance Sac State has $50 million in NIL. And Schefter responds saying it's the Sac-12 leading the schools in NIL efforts already announced that it's reached its initial goal of raising $50 million in NIL funds to strengthen the school's case for an invitation to the Pac-12 or Mountain West. And then he says, in Jesus, Doug, a 7-game losing streak and last place in the Horizon League, less time on social media and more time in the gym.
Is Doug a coach now?
Yeah, he coaches, and his team is not doing too great right now, and so that's why Schefter said that.
Damn, Schefter went back at him hard, huh? Yeah, you don't question Adam Schefter, bro. That's like the fucking Gandalf of information. So
yeah, that is true. It's interesting. I don't know about Sacramento saving $50 million NIL. It seems like they raised $50 million. I mean, good for. I mean that's
fuck, man. That's what you got. $50 million. I can get some players.
Yeah, like going from the Big Sky to what it looks like either the Pac-12 or Mountain West. Man, that's big time.
If I was the Pac-12, I would just expand with a bunch of schools that probably people don't know about. Like Air Force needs to go with Army and Navy. Wyoming needs to find a way into the Pac-12. If they don't, they're fucked. And then go get like North Dakota State and South Dakota State. The Mountain West's not going to do it. Then go get these other schools and refortify the Pac-12 with those schools and just rebuild and let everybody be shitty for a while until they're not. Because if they're in a major conference, they'll get better eventually. $25 million from Apple is better than $5 million from ESPN.
Well said, Matt. Well, this is interesting. Now, I asked you about Bill Belichick when we first heard rumblings. Now I'm going to ask you about Michael Vick. Do you think Michael Vick had actually become a college football head coach? I think
why not?
Coaching job? You think, yeah?
Why not? People want to go play for him, that's for sure.
Yeah. Man, that would be pretty cool to see him at Sac State or at Norfolk, where he's from Virginia.
I mean, remember Ed Reed tried to do this though too, and he lasted like 3 weeks. So
I'm not gonna say that was an interesting situation. I don't know if it's.
It probably wasn't Ed Reed's fault. But he did last like 3 weeks. So all I'm saying is, does Mike Vick really want to go try and recruit the 15th best player in Virginia to go to Norfolk? Mike Vick is not Deion Sanders.
That is true. That is very, very true. You never know. It could turn into a powerhouse, man. You never know.
Bro. I'm here for it. If it happens, then cool.
Well, we'll see. We'll keep our eyes to this and see if this actually comes to fruition. It's interesting. Adam Schefter reported it, and then his beef with Doug Gottlieb. That's hilarious. But hey, we're going to go ahead and pay the bills. When we come back, we got former Colorado interim head coach, former coach at Boise, Mike Sanford Jr. I can't wait to have him on the show. He's going to give his take as to Travis Hunter winning the Heisman over Ashton Genty, discussing that whole thing. I can't wait to discuss that. I mean, his take is, it's probably as genuine and as.
How can you get a better take? Coach to Colorado, played at Boise State, coach to Boise State.
What are you
Both sides are going to be pissed. That's probably, instead of everybody like appreciating his take, people will probably just be pissed off at him.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so hard to be mad at Stanford too. Like, how can you be mad at that?
How can you be mad? I don't get it. I mean, I can't wait to see what people. His take is going to be great, so I can't wait to see what people's reaction is going to be to it. We got a lot more to discuss as well, including Michael Irvin going at Shannon Sharp, who had something to say about Travis Hunter's girlfriend. We're going to get Matt's reaction to that and so much more.
TMZ in college football, baby. I'm over here. It's the fucking Travis Hunter's the new Bachelor.
TMZ college football. We'll be back in 2 minutes. Peace.
Whether it's offensive linemen as they work combos and double teams and also pass pro and punch, I think the unique physicality of this is outstanding. So much so that you can use it for your shield on punt team or as you rush in the shield. There's so many different ways that we're using it. We get better a little bit every single day, and I just wanted to say thank you because I hadn't ever thought of this, and when I saw it, it made total sense, and we're doing a great job with it. So thank you, man. Go Big Red. What this has done for us is it's allowed us to, because of the surface area, because of its firm nature, I can still strike against another player and have to use that punch just like you do on a sled. At the same time, have to time my punch because it could move. I can teach defensive linemen how to handle double teams because they can feel pressure. We can simulate contact in a safe environment in non-contact times because of this unique bag.
Welcome down here to the Lab 60 Football Academy, 60 Strength and Fitness. I am your owner and operator, Matt McChesney. I just wanted to let everybody know that 6-0 is now on Cameo. You can go on Cameo and request any tips for training, any offensive line, defensive line tips, recruiting tips. I get so many inquiries in my inbox on a daily basis about tips and can you look at my film and can you do this? Can you break down something for me? I'd love to, all right? It's like the Joker said, my man, right here. If you're good at something, never do it for free. So Cameo is now your bridge to 6-0 Football Academy. Go in, request what you want, tips, suggestions, recruiting, film, and we will make sure that you get the absolute best from the best. So check out 6-0 on Cameo at 6-0 Academy. Cameo, 6-0 Academy. Cameo, 6-0 Academy.
And we're back. Matt, we got a great second half planned to the show. For those watching, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and become a member of the Dungeon family here at 0 to 60 for only $2.99, best $2.99 you ever spent. We appreciate you, and we appreciate Sports Center and all the other outlets for posting that Travis Hunter thing. Those reaching out, we appreciate you. Our special guest is here, though. I can't wait to discuss this and so much more. Our special guest, former Colorado interim head coach, former coach of Boise. He got a big take about Travis Hunter winning the Heisman over Ashton Jeanty, and there is no better man to give a take on this. Coach Mike Sanford, thank you for joining. Welcome to the show, my man. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you guys doing? It's good to see you.
Good, Doc. What's happening?
Thank you for joining.
What's up, man? How you doing? Hey, I like the hair's growing out. You're looking good, man.
I like your beard. You're really buying into this whole like dad media thing, huh?
Yeah, and the mountain man, getting my mountain man vibes going too. You better believe it.
I fucking love it, dude. Well, look, welcome to the show. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas to you and your family.
You too, man. Both of you.
Travis Hunter, Heisman Trophy, Ashton, go.
Yeah, this has been one of the more unique times in my lifetime. I mean, if back in 2022, and I said this yesterday when I was reflecting on Travis Hunter, just the reality. I mean, I'm in media now, and so I call it like it is. I try not to, do anything from any angle of bitterness, any angle of jealousy or anything like that. But like the reality of the situation is if somebody would have come up to me on the sideline in the final game of the 2022 season, we're down, I think about 30 some odd points in the second quarter to Utah, who ended up winning the conference championship, and said, hey, by the way, this school that you're coaching at right now is going to have a Heisman Trophy winner in two years from about today. I'd have been like, yeah, you're an idiot. I'm going to punch you in the face and we're going to move on.
Yeah, we're going to fight. We're going to fight now because now you're mocking us.
Yeah. And that is the amazing nature of what has transpired with Coach Prime, with Travis Hunter, and with Shedeur Sanders. And, I think it was one of those awards that for me, I didn't envision also having somebody from my alma mater, a place that I played at. I mean, I was played at Boise State 2004. I'm involved with the media. I do a Bronco Nation News podcast stuff every Wednesday. I'm doing a bunch of pregame, postgame shows. So I do think I'm a bit in a unique space here because I think I'm caught dead ass in between the CU fan base, who I represent in the media here in Colorado, and then I'm in between the Boise fan base, who I represent in Boise, Idaho, certainly from my home studio here. The difference between me and both of those people is that I watched every freaking snap of both of these players for the last 2 years, every snap, because my responsibility as a member of the media and somebody that people might look to or might not, I don't really care, but they look to me to evaluate and analyze exactly what I see. And so I know these two players. I know them really well, and I know everything about them. I know good, bad in terms of football, right? Anything else that's like, and there's a lot of takes about, well, Ashton's a better kid than Travis. Really? Like, they're both pretty awesome kids. They both have 0 priors. That's for damn sure. They both are great representatives of their university. They both exemplify, at least in front of a camera, which you and I both know, Chaz. Who knows, right? We don't know what's actually going on behind the scenes unless you're there on a daily basis, but they exemplify humility. And I just, these two players were extremely deserving of the Heisman Trophy. And that's why the vote was what it was. It wasn't because of some type of, national media bias. That wasn't it. I think these two players were, I think, unicorns. And Travis is I think a unicorn in a different sense than anybody maybe in the history of college football. But Ashton Jeanty in the era of soft football is the anti-soft football running back in college football. When's the last time we saw a true certified badass that carried a team to a playoff? And so
it's been a while. And usually those running backs win the Heisman. So, okay, so let me ask you this. Okay. I don't think that we've had this kind of decisiveness in the Heisman Trophy, right? Like, the voting and how everybody's talking about it ever, right? I don't think ever, because it got personal, like, to a point.
Dude, it was insane.
It didn't get personal with Peyton Manning and Charles Woodson. Like, why this year? Why is Travis so polarizing that people are like angry? I think the Cam Ward and Dylan Gabriel, it's nice that you're there.
Right.
But the two in the middle should have, like, if you could split the trophy, maybe they would have split it. I don't know. But I feel like they got it right, obviously, because I'm biased. But if Gentry would have won, I wouldn't have been like, man, Travis got robbed. I would have been like, bro, that kid, yeah, he won the Heisman. That's an incredible season. It was so incredible, it beat an all-time season. Now, that didn't end up happening, thank God. But why can't people just appreciate both these two? Why does it have to be, like, against each other? I know they're going for the trophy, but they're not playing each other. I mean, it's all voted on.
Well, I had a lot of fun this year. Anytime I tweeted something out positively about, say, Ashton Jeanty, all of a sudden I would get just absolutely obliterated by CU fans. You're not a real one. I'm like, dude, all I said is the guy's a good player. Didn't say he's the best player in college football. I just said that he had a really good game against Oregon and Washington State. Like, it is what it is. And then on the flip side, I mean, guys, right after my family, we have a divided loyalty. I mean, we live in Colorado. We love CU. But, my son was born in Boise, Idaho, my 10-year-old son.
That's your alma mater, bro.
Yeah, I mean, 5 years.
They'll always be number one.
Yeah, in 5 years of building that place up as a player, not me, but my teammates, and you go through the blood, sweat, and tears, man, like that place means something to me. And one thing I'll say is, we watched the Heisman ceremony as a family, and I just went around and did a little straw poll in my family. It was hilarious, man. I'm not going to reveal those numbers, but it was interesting, a little bit more divisive than you would have thought. But my wife, who is, I would say she's one of the most perceptive people on planet Earth. She can sniff out a bullshitter as fast as anybody. She watched the Travis Hunter acceptance speech and she was in tears. And we don't have any true like connection to Travis. We don't have any true like emotional, deep 30-year connection to the University of Colorado. We just saw a dude being real. And so I tweeted out right after, I'm like, this is the best. I think this is arguably the most genuine and emotional acceptance speech for any award it could be the Academy Awards. It could be, an ESPY. It doesn't matter. And it was just that you saw a guy without his notes and a pre-recorded, pre-rehearsed speech memorized. He just spoke from the heart. The embrace with Coach Prime. Dude, that was real. Like I told my wife, I was like, that is different than your average dap up the head coach and then go get your award. That was deeply rooted in a journey where Travis is largely where he is because of Coach Prime, and Coach Prime in the position he's at right now is largely where he is in the stature of being a coach because of Travis Hunter. And I think that's an awesome, beautiful two-way street. And so I tweet that out about it being one of the most genuine, and I've been saying this for months as Boise State fans, my people. I mean, they're my people. They've been just absolutely, just character assassinating Travis Hunter. I'm like, dude, I live here. I cover this team for Altitude Sports Radio. Like we talk about it every day. This guy's a really good kid. Like he's the opposite of a bad kid. Right. So what the hell are you saying? So I just said, as I've been saying for months, this guy is as good of a human being off the field as he is on the field as a player. And I mean, you would have thought, I had people telling me that my daughter was ugly. I mean, it was the craziest thing ever. I'm like, guys, you realize I'm one of you? Do you realize that I'm the one that probably is most qualified to have this conversation? Because
same, but different.
Yeah, it's like, and so I got to the point where I texted you, Matt, yesterday. I almost didn't come on here because I was like, dude, I'm honestly sick of this, like being caught in between this stupid web of just shade being thrown from every direction. I'm like, it's probably good to go to, my psychiatrist, Matt McChesney, and air it out, and have some real conversations.
I mean, and if I'm your shrink, we're probably going to have some real fun. Because all the bad ideas you come up with, I'm going to be like, let's go do it. Let's see what happens. Hey, so I got one more in me before we start talking about Boise in the playoff and whatnot. And I was just thinking about this while you were talking. Being an ex-player, we played at the same time from 2004.
Mm-hmm.
And then coaching as long as you did, being a head coach, being an OC, being a quarterback coach, being an intern coach, all the rigors of it for 20 years. Don't you think it's kind of cool, all the negatives of NIL, that players can follow their coaches now instead of being abandoned by them? Like, I was so blessed. I committed to Rick Neuheisel. That's how old I am. But I played for Gary Barnett all 5, and I played for Chris Wilson all 5. The same position coach, the same head coach the whole time.
Right.
And it was probably the only reason I stayed at the school and didn't get kicked out and go to jail, is because they reformed me. They didn't recruit me.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's really fucking cool that, like, the Travis and Shador and Shiloh and all these guys can go to Jackson State, and then when their coach gets upped, they can just go with their coach and get upped as well. I think that's really a part of this NIL journey people are not talking about. The Arizona guys going with their coach to Washington, and the guys who decided to stay in Arizona, they didn't leave.
Yeah,
the
you
guys
got a choice, right?
From Washington to Alabama, like, just to elaborate on that a little bit, being a player and also being a coach now, looking at it from the view you are.
Yeah, well, Matt, I think you being somebody that a lot of people, certainly in Colorado and nationally, look to for advice in recruiting, I think that's a huge piece of the puzzle. And I think nowadays it really does go one of two directions when you commit, say, as a high school senior to a place, right? Are you going to go the direction of I'm committing to a coach, or are you going the direction I'm committing to a university, a community, a state, a city? And the beautiful thing, like you said, about the current landscape is that you can actually kind of make good on either one of those commitments, insofar as you are a good football player and you're not going to get ran out of the program by the next coach, which is, this is capitalism, man. It's Darwinism, survival of the fittest, right? And that's not necessarily a bad thing. So yeah, I think it's a good part of the portal, and there's so much of the negative part of it. It's starting to play out. You look at Penn State's Bo Pribula, I think is how you pronounce his last name. He's a true backup quarterback. They probably don't have another guy behind him that could win a CFP game. And now he's going to go in the portal, and he's got to, because he's got to look out for his next opportunity. And while the 1998 to 2015 player and coach in me is saying, like, well, that's wrong. You quit on your team. Well, you got to make a move now. You got to take care of number one, or you're going to be in trouble. And that's what the system has created. So there's
got to find a team to be on a team.
Yep, that's right. So yeah, I think that's a really good point. It's like, are you going to commit to the school? Are you going to commit to the coach? Well, 5, 6, 7 years ago, you couldn't really commit to the coach. You had to commit to the school until you graduated. And so everybody was in a rush to get a degree in 2.5 years. And
I usually used to say to kids before COVID, my line was never commit to a coach.
Right.
Always commit to a school, because the coach can leave whenever you want. Now I'm like, hey, Deacon and Sane and Brett, I've been committing to Coach Prime real quick. And so it's changed a ton. I know Bailey's got some questions too, and I wanted to ask you one more before I let him in.
Yeah.
You just brought up Penn State. Penn State plays SMU.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first round of the playoffs. You got Boise sitting there as the 3 seed. Congratulations to the Broncos on an incredible year. Waiting for the winner of Penn State SMU and the Fiesta Bowl?
Fiesta Bowl, yep.
I'd imagine you're going to be at that one, right?
Yeah, I'm working.
Yeah,
I'm working the pre and post game stuff. Yeah.
Not missing that one.
Guys, you like this? I'm also, even though I don't want to bring up the name of the team because you might blow a gasket, and I've seen you slam your laptop.
I know you're working with the sheep. It's okay.
But I am going to be on the national radio broadcast on Sirius XM for the Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl.
All right.
So there might be there might be some California sober exchanges happening up there in the box. You never know.
Yeah, I'll tell you, they're not drug testing at the Snoop Bowl. There's no drug testing allowed at the Snoop Bowl. But hey, I'll tell you this: I'm glad the Sheep made a bowl. That's good. That's
it's good for the
You're going to have to learn how to speak Baba, and that's going to be tough. But I think you can do it. You can do it for 3 hours. So elaborate on that. Though you're going to be at Boise.
Yeah. So it's the Fiesta Bowl, man. There's a ton of history with that particular venue and this program. Yep. And, it started out in 2006, I believe the culmination of the 2006 season, 2 years after I got done playing. The damn quarterback that beat me out for the starting job, Jared Zabransky, ended up being, it was his his senior year. And the Oklahoma win was legendary, as everybody knows. I mean, it really did put Boise State on a national map, which it wasn't before. We were winning 10, 11, 12, 13 games every year for, it felt like 7 years before that happened. But, then it went to, I think there were 2 more Fiesta Bowl appearances, a win over, it was Kellen Moore era. It was 1 win over TCU. And I think actually another one over TCU. And then and then I coached in the last Fiesta Bowl, which was in 2014 for Boise State. And we beat Arizona. I mean, we were up 28-7, but that place turns into a home environment for Boise State fans. That same passion and vitriol that everybody's been experiencing on the CU side of things, well, those people do show up and pay their way to get in there and make a bunch of noise. Matt, and if you could guess, just based off me being a Boise State guy, which team between SMU and Penn State do you think I would rather see as a Boise State guy? Just how we're
I think you'd rather play Penn State.
100%. 100%. 100%. And that's to me what the Boise State program has been built on. It's like it's the chip on your shoulder. Like, okay, so you want to play big boy ball with us? Cool. Well, we've been doing that every single day for the last, 350, right? That's about Boise State's built in the weight room. I mean, you some of thest guys from, just the crossover with CU.
Shale and Depot is a perfect example of what Boise State is. Yep. He's Dungeon family, Crest High School. I begged CU to take that kid, and they were like, "Oh, he's too small." And I'm like, "Okay, well, now he's going to the league. He's pure heart."
Yeah, he's a great player, man. He might have saved the season with the tackle that he had. Yeah, he truly could have saved the season because that UNLV was starting to find some offensive momentum. He ends up running down a running back that looked like a walk-in 80-yard touchdown. Dude's a baller. I know you've showed that on online. It's awesome. He
had a play just like it in high school that actually got him offered by.
I saw that.
Who was the coach at Boise when it was before
Andy Avalos?
It was. I think it was right before. Who was right before Andy?
That was Harsin.
So it would have been Andy then. Yeah, because Harsin went to Auburn. And then Andy took. So it was like Andy's first year, I think, was Shea.
He probably is being evaluated at the transition of those two coaches. But back to this whole Penn State narrative. I mean, one thing I think from a matchup standpoint, Boise State, just at the corner position, they've had a rough year of playing the football down the field and just true like one-on-one 50-50 type balls. They just from a overall like technique standpoint, they were not locating the football. I mean, Nick Nash, the receiver from San Jose State, I mean, he had his way. There's been Georgia Southern in the opening game of the season had their way, just throwing the football. They had like 600 some odd yards of offense. Teams that are a bit more traditional and want to run the rock, I think Boise State does a really good job. Their front seven's fantastic. I mean, Penn State, Drew Aller's like this big-time NFL prospect apparently, and I think he's a good player. He's got a lot of physical attributes. They don't throw to wide receivers. I mean, they have the best tight end in terms of just jack of all trades, and Tyler Warren does everything. He's awesome. And he's kind of he's almost like a bigger Taysom Hill in the sense he can play wildcat quarterback. He plays receiver, running back, fullback. What's that?
He looked good in orange and blue, and God knows
boy would he look good, man. Boy would he look good.
Sean Payton might find a way to get him the ball.
But yeah, hey man, your boy Shea Oladipo might be matched up on Tyler Warren. You never know because there's a lot of match principles in their coverage. So I actually feel good about the nickel and safety position for Boise State. The corner position played great in the last 2 weeks of the season, but man, I think Boise State wants to see Penn State. I want to see Penn State as an alum, as a fan, and I just think it sets up for another one of those Herculean upsets that you play against one of the big brands in college football and. You're like, hey, you want to get in the phone booth with us? Let's go to work.
Bailey, you got any questions for Coach Sanford? I got two more, but we'll let you in. Sorry.
No, it's all good. Coach Sanford, I can't thank you enough for joining. I want to ask you a couple questions on the recruiting front. Let's start with Colorado. Colorado, their early signing day cited 14 out of their 15 commits, and I think the early signing day was a success. Obviously, the standouts are Julian Lewis, Cardi Smith, Chauncey Gooden at tackle, and a couple others. Any commits that are signees that stand out to you? And how do you feel about Colorado's early signing day, them bringing in 14 commits?
I mean, the one that obviously stands out is the Colorado boy, Zane D'Souza. I mean, I'd love to have a tight end. I always tell people that Colorado's an underrated. It's often looked over because you don't have like the accumulation of skill players. But if you want to go find some length at tight end, outside backer, for technique or offensive line, this is a great state to go to. And so I'm glad that CU signed somebody in that mold, because I think that's going to be really critical for the program going forward, and having some developmental pieces that can actually, like the bottom line, like we had walk-ons at Idaho that ended up being starters. Jeb Poutsier ended up playing for the Broncos. I think you played with him.
I played with Jeb. Jeb's a good dude.
And guys from the state of Idaho, like when it's your home state, it does mean a little bit more. I don't, and that's something as a head coach I always wanted. I want to get as many local guys if they're good enough and they meet the criteria, and you got to go through all that. And that's, everybody's got a different, vantage point of talent and how they fit into systems. Mm-hmm. But if they're good enough baseline, they're going to be that much better because of the commitment to the state of Colorado. In this case with Zane D'Souza. Julian Lewis is a really interesting one. I mean, obviously humongous recruiting coup. I think Shedeur Sanders recruited him with just unbelievable personal touch. I think that's a huge signing. My only thing, and this kind of goes a little bit back to just my life of understanding the 5-star quarterback nature. Just let it play out, right? Just let it play out. Because Malachi Nelson from my high school, Los Alamitos High School, signed with USC, big NIL deal, went there to be the heir apparent to Caleb Williams. I mean, he was the undisputed number one quarterback in the country. He ends up transferring to Boise State before this year, doesn't start a game, doesn't really play in any meaningful snaps. Now he's in the portal again. And so the only thing I'd say is that, man, it looks like at the Power 5, Power 4, Power 2, however you want to call it, level, it just looks like everybody right now is looking for the player that has the field credibility of having played at least a season of really good Division I power football. And that's a bit. So I think there's still going to be some movement. I do with the CU quarterback position. I mean, Julian Lewis, phenomenal player, great arm talent. Seems like a really, really impressive young man. I saw his commitment video. He's got his priorities in the right spot. Another great student. The question for me is, the dude should be in junior year of his high school right now. And in the model of the portal, everybody wants a dude that's played. And played at this level. And so I think that'll be an interesting thing to keep your eye out on, because, man, whoever plays quarterback at CU next year, you got some pretty big shoes to fill.
Huge shoes.
I don't think I said it on Altitude today, Ches. I said it earlier today. I think CU and all of us here that live in Colorado need to enjoy for one more game what you got. But when you've got two dudes that finished in the top 8 of the Heisman, and Shedeur was, I think Shedeur finishing 8th was stupid, but I think it was smart for CU because they were, the campaign was for Travis Hunter, even from Shedeur's mouth himself, right? Sure. So I think if you would have had both those guys in the top 3, Genty probably wins, right? Because they're splitting votes. They're splitting 1 and 2. So I think it was a smart play by CU in general, and Prime and the whole deal. But man, I don't think anybody's talking enough about how the hell do you replace those two dudes? I mean, I seriously, and that's what that was my thing, is heard a lot about Louis, and I'm all in, man. But I saw the Louis, the custom Louis that's like $400,000 a bag. That came from Jackson State to CU, and it was Shedeur and Travis Hunter, and those dudes are going to be drafted in the first 3 picks without question in the draft.
So where do you want to see him go? Where do you want Shedeur to go? The Giants or the Raiders? I want
Shedeur to go to the Raiders, and the reason I do is I think that part of what makes Shedeur unique is his play style is unique to him, and I worry just with the Giants being call like it is, a bit of a very traditional old school ownership group, all of that stuff. I don't know if they're going to allow him to play with the creativity required of him to optimize his performance and to have the impact that he'd have. I think the Raiders are just looking for anything. I think they're looking for something, and they need it because they're in the entertainment capital of the world. They built this Taj Mahal of a facility. And right now, I mean, I went to the Raiders Broncos game this year, and it's just kind of like, what are we watching? Right.
Other than Max Crosby and Bowers, they're just guys.
Yeah. And those two guys are phenomenal. I mean, they're, my goodness. But yeah, I mean, it's been deficient of a quarterback. They need what the Raiders franchise needs is it needs to galvanize the Las Vegas community, which has turned into a massive community. My parents live there. My dad was honored last night as at the Monday Night Football game in Allegiant as Nevada High School Coach of the Year. He played his state championship game in that building, but they need something to make Vegas people feel like that's my team. And the perfect dude to do that is Shedeur Sanders. Now, as a Bronco fan, somebody who covers it, I like it. Yeah, I mean, I like it. I like
the division: Mahomes, Shedeur, Bo Nix, and Herbert.
I mean, it's
that shit.
It's awesome. You want great football. You do. You don't want everybody to suck ass like the Raiders do this year.
Where do you think Travis ends up?
I want him at Jacksonville. I don't know if it's going to be able to happen. And it seems like Mac Jones is trying to fight for his football life, and Doug Peterson's fighting for his football life. But I just think that him being able to go back to his home state, and then another franchise that. Dude, like they keep talking about they're going to move to London, this, like they need something to be fired up about, and that'd be the perfect guy to fill up the stadium. And I think it's also the type of franchise that does have a lot of needs at a lot of positions and can optimize. I think he can play both ways. And I think that's a franchise that would be more open to it than, whatever it might be. I mean, the Patriots would be cool too. I like Travis Hunter in a Patriots uniform with Drake May playing quarterback.
On the other side of Christian Gonzalez.
Yeah,
on the other side of Christian, a couple of buffs out there. I know Christian finished his career as a Duck, but he was a great buff for a long time. So
yeah, and unfortunately, Chaz, in 2022, where all too well, the portal was just like the water was going out of Boulder, but you weren't able to get the water back in. And Christian Gonzalez, I should have been coaching against him in practice every day in 2022, just like I should have been calling ball plays for Brendan Rice. But instead, you're facing all these dudes, right? Mark Perry, he's at TCU.
Jordan Tyson. Good
thing about him is I did get him, and he
balled out.
I'll throw my meat on the table for this one a little bit for a sec, but we
throw it on, Coach.
Yeah, right here. Boom. So we weren't playing Jordan Tyson because he didn't know the plays well enough, right? And I'm the offensive coordinator. It was like a weekly thing. I'm like, dude, we have to play this dude. So I get, and this wasn't a Darrell thing. It's just like a room discussion, and he started playing a little bit more. And I took over as interim head coach, and I just told everybody, hey, Jordan Tyson's our starting X. Okay, period. So just there's no discussions. Coach, I don't care. Make sure he knows it. Spend 6 hours a day with the dude. I don't care about what you design on third down. I want that guy playing. And he went off and then tore his ACL, unfortunately. I think it was week 10, week 9.
Against Oregon, I think he got. I think
so. Yeah, it was again. He had like a 75-yard touchdown against the Ducks.
Yeah, and then he got hurt on like a crossing route or something.
Mm-hmm. Did the whole gamut. That dude's a baller, an absolute baller.
Yeah, I'm glad. It's good to see a bunch of old Colorado heads around there now. Jake Wiley went to Houston and bowled. And he's going to the draft this year, and
Tank.
It's good to see guys around the country that were on that team. And they're that CU before Coach Prime that are still doing well. So
one of the hottest wide receivers in the portal right now is Chase Sowell. He went to East Carolina, put up some good numbers. He's huge. He's like 6'4", 218, runs great. He and Jordan Tyson were in the same class. So it's just, it's so wild, man. You just never know.
There's talent everywhere.
We had to play all those dudes as true freshmen, right? That was just the reality of it. And it helped their stock and their journey because they grew up in a hurry, right? And now they're in a better spot to compete, know what it feels like and what they need to do with their bodies to get them right.
All right, Bailey, you got anything else, Coach?
Last thing I wanted to ask you, and this is news that came out from this show yesterday. Travis Hunter reportedly received $0 from Colorado's NIL collective, and he actually donates money out of his pocket back into the collective, paying for 10 to 15 of his teammates' NIL deals. Do you have any thoughts on this? I haven't heard of many players in this Wild West era of college football doing this. Your thoughts?
Well, I think by far the two most marketable players, for good reason, because they're great players. They're good-looking dudes. They have charisma. They have vibes. But the two most marketable athletes for major brands, we're not talking about little collectives and, this, that, or the other. I mean, it's Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter. I mean, so those guys, the thing I actually loved about the CU experience with Coach Prime is that a lot of the big money that was rolling in, that was buying Maybachs and all the stuff, that was the actual intent of NIL, of being able to sign endorsements and profit on your name, image, and likeness. Well, guess what? Right. Those two cats had massive value in their name, image, and likeness. And so it makes a ton of sense that Travis would do this. I think it's awesome. It doesn't surprise me in the slightest because, I know some of the collective numbers. I don't know the collective numbers at CU, but I've talked to people across Big 12 and what's standard across that conference. I mean, based off what those two players, Shedeur and Travis, were making, I mean, the collective money was small potatoes. Like it was not the same type of money based off of what those guys are making with KFC, and you name a brand and you watch a commercial and they're going to be on there. So I think it's awesome. It shows the humility. It shows what Travis Hunter's all about, and he wanted to win. And I think that's probably my favorite thing about his Heisman acceptance speech. I don't think in this portal era we'll often see somebody not make a college football playoff and actually talk about, well, it's not over yet. We have one more. Like, that was awesome.
That was kick-ass. Yeah, I'm so glad they're playing.
Really cool. That was really
cool. Let me ask you that then while we got you on here. I got two more questions, and that's one of them. You think that they flipped the trend here? Because I couldn't imagine sitting out of my bowl game my senior year. Like, that last month was like every day that fell off the calendar, I was like, fuck, man, it's one more day before I'm done. Like that, college, I love the NFL. It was fun, but it was just straight business. You're a mercenary. I just want a job. I don't give a fuck who I play for. I'll play for anyone if you give me a job. I only wanted to play at one school. So it was a very special time. It was a different time, but very special nonetheless. I feel like the two best players in the country coming out and saying, we're playing. Like, we're finishing this. It's important. I think that it's going to change people's mindsets. The next kid that wants to be like Shedeur or Travis is going to be like, well, he played. Why wouldn't I play? I'm here to play football, in actuality, actually. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, I hope it bucks the trend. This trend started really, Ches, and it happened actually at a place I was coaching at. It happened in 2020. This whole in mass, in bulk. And there were full teams, including the team that I coached at in 2020 at the University of Minnesota, that opted out of bowl games, right? Like, and at the time it was, we have this amount of COVID cases, and it was December with the reemergence of COVID. I mean, it was getting massive and all this stuff, and it just feels like that 2020 year in so many different facets of life just continued to trickle on into 21 and 22 and 23 and 24, and I think it does take somebody to be a bit of a revolutionary in terms of standing up for something. And I think the real revolutionary in this example is Coach Prime. I think that Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders are a product of somebody that really values the opportunities to coach football and play football. And so I believe they're following his lead, and he's a guy that I think is doing it the right way. And of course, you see stuff with like Nikai Hill-Green going in the portal. That's just the nature of this era we live in. I look at that as potentially different. I don't know the story. I don't know what happened. I do know that guy's an absolute baller. I loved watching him play this year. But I think it is something that will serve as a positive example for other teams, other programs, and players. And especially if it goes well, which I think it will. I think that Shedeur and Travis aren't the kind of guys that will play a game of football kind of tippy-toeing around like, oh, I don't want to get hurt. They're dogs. No, they're going to play. They're going to play. And Shedeur's going to try and put like 8 touchdowns on the board, bro. They're going to throw the ball every single play. So like every other game this year. Yeah. Well, yeah, that's also true. But it's going to be amplified in this game, I would think. Yeah.
All right, last question for you here before we get you out of here, Coach. And you can hear Coach every day from 10 to noon on 92.5 on Altitude. They do a great job, him and Raj. And then obviously all over college football. And it's just a matter of time before you see his smiling face up there in the broadcast booth on big time games. So just hold on to your ass, everybody. All right, Coach, last question. Who wins the national title, bro?
I think it's a wide open year. There really is an absence, I think, because of the portal. The depth isn't there as much anymore. How many of your guys that were 4 or 5 star recruits go somewhere and, they're not starting right away. They go to the next spot, right? So you don't see the stacking of Alabama and Georgia and Oklahoma and Texas and these programs, Michigan, Penn State, Ohio State. They can't just hold on to 5-star talent and just play them when they want to in year 3 through 5. These players are going other places. And as a result, there is a lot more parity. And that's how I would explain that there is an absence of a truly dominant team in college football. And that's what I think is the team with the fewest warts. I mean, I think every team in the playoffs has warts. I mean, Boise State, they're a 3 seed, and I know it's by virtue of a very unique, setup in the buys and all that.
3 points away from being the 1 seed, homie.
I know. And so what I would say is that Oregon of the teams has the fewest warts. And I think that the best championship builder in this portal era, and it's a combination of Uncle Phil and Phil Knight and his money. And then I think Dan Lanning coming from that Saban, Kirby Smart tree. They know how to run an NFL scouting department and a personnel department. And they have really good players in the areas that you win championships on. And that's in the trenches. And I have Oregon winning it, but it wouldn't surprise me whatsoever to see an upset.
Man, I think it's going to be absolute mayhem. I wouldn't be surprised if Arizona State makes the final at this point. Like, it's just shit is crazy, and I can't wait.
Let me ask you guys this. This is something that happened. So I wake up. It was a weird weekend of football because college football is it was Army Navy, which I love, awesome, great to watch, and then the Heisman Trophy, and so I'm wired. And I'm sure you guys are the same way as a college football guy. I'm wired to that when that weekend hits, it's kind of like this, it's like a 3-4 week break until real football starts back up again. I was driving in on Monday morning to 9 News to do a Broncos morning show deal. And I was listening to Brady Quinn talking about Friday night's game is Notre Dame versus Indiana in the first round of playoffs. I'm like, they're playing that already? Like, we get that? Like, this is
before Christmas.
This is the greatest gift from above. We get real football and a full slate, and then really good. Starts on Thursday night with the Broncos, and then it's Friday night, Battle of the Hoosier State up at South Bend, and probably going to be cold as balls. It's going to be awesome to watch.
That is going to be a kick-ass game, bro. Look, that's the thing is, do you think that they'll expand past 12 with how awesome this is? Because I know that there's a lot of 13 through 18, they couldn't win. I don't know, dog.
I think it's wide ass open, man.
CU could have gotten into the playoffs somehow with both the ACC teams making it. Let's say CU beats Kansas and they get into the Big 12 title game, and the Arizona State and CU play each other, and whoever wins, I still think the loser gets in if they were both there with only 1 loss or 2 losses.
Yeah.
If you have an 18 or 20 team field, they're definitely in. They're as scary as anybody. Like, why can't a higher seed beat a lower or why can't a lower seed be a higher seed in football just like basketball?
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. And I think it's
right.
Yeah, it's especially gonna happen. I mean, you look at Boise State's the 3 seed, and I think they're like an 11-point underdog in a hypothetical matchup against Penn State, who I think's a 6 seed, 5 seed, something like that.
They're 6, yeah.
6, yeah. So I think it's going to be chaos. It's been chaos all year, but I don't know if you know Justin Wilcox, the head coach at Cal. He's a good buddy of mine. He's a GA at Boise State when I was playing. He recently, I think it was maybe on a podcast or something yesterday, just talked about what's behind the curtain in college football. As a fan, you don't really want to know. He's like, his quote was, don't look too far. You don't want to see in the kitchen, because if you saw the ingredients and how they're cooking everything, you probably wouldn't want to eat the food. And I think there's some truth to that, but the damn product is so good, man. And it's like, I think I fought it for so long in my own mind, that like, dude, I don't want to be a part of this. This is gross. And then I started watching college football Saturdays. I'm like, dude, this is so fun. It's such so a good awesome product. It's so good, man. So yeah, I'm done fighting City Hall on that for sure.
Mike Sanford, thank you so much for being on the show, brother. 92.5 FM Altitude Sports Radio every day from 10 to noon. And, just a badass coach and a great dude. And we love you, coach. And stay up. All the best to you and your family. And Merry Christmas. And, yeah, bro. It's just what a fucking year.
Hey, Ches, if you're wondering, I still got my body bag and I still let my 8-year-old run into it full speed on a daily basis. So.
See, so there's another ringing endorsement. I love it. All right, coach. Stay up, brother. We'll talk soon.
Yeah, man. Y'all too. See you,
Thanks
Bailey.
for joining, Coach. Have a good day. Man, shout out to Coach Mike Sanford. Thank you for joining. Man, he's the man. That was funny, that last line.
So Zachariah Branch is in the portal. Is that the big nose tackle?
Let me see here. I didn't see you enter the portal. Did he actually?
Is it Zach? I didn't think his first name was Zachariah. I thought it was not Zachariah.
They're talking about USC star receiver Zachariah Branch.
Oh, number 1?
Yeah, I believe so.
That motherfucker can move. We need to get him.
Oh, Matt. Oh, let me ask you. Zachariah Branch is in the transfer portal. USC.
Yeah, get his ass immediately. 100%. Yes. 1,000%. Yes.
Well,
the answer is yes.
Well, Colorado.
Let's go.
What happens?
Let's and don't put it past them to bag him too, because that's what they do here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You bring the groceries, we bag them. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Well, man, this is gonna be. I can't wait. This is the way this is playing out. This is gonna be interesting. Yeah, we do have college football this weekend, Matt. That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. So Thursday and Friday we'll be back. We're not on tomorrow. Bailey has to go see the gynecologist.
I'm flying to Seattle, actually.
We'll be back on Thursday and Friday. And we'll have more to talk about, obviously. Thursday night football. The Broncos have a huge one. See if the Chargers can even make the playoffs when they're on this losing streak. And then we'll see what happens, on Friday night in the Battle of the Hoosier State. Who would have thought Indiana and Notre Dame would be the fucking first playoff game ever? Indiana?
Wild. And
yeah. I don't know. I'll probably take Notre Dame in that game, but you never know, bro. Indiana just came out of nowhere.
I'm rolling with Indiana. I don't know what Notre Dame is, man. Until I think it's going to be a really good game. We'll see.
Notre Dame's strength of schedule is poo-poo. I'd like to see Notre Dame join a fucking conference.
That's my point. Join a conference, Notre Dame, or else we won't say that and say your strength of schedule is garbage.
Garbage.
Like
fucking garbage. Smug-ass Notre Dame fans and players. Look, the fans are one thing. Guys who played at Notre Dame, I'm friends with a lot of you, so I can say this. You're smug. Smug. Oh, my God, the smuggest group.
You and Tank Johnson share that same belief. Tank Johnson shares the same belief. He literally
Notre Dame guys are fucking smug. How can you not be? It's like Stanford guys. Stanford guys walk around with a stick in their ass, too. See this piece of paper? This piece of paper is going to get me $500,000 minimum. Fuck your degree, bitch.
Well, Matt, great show on this fine Tuesday. We had Coach Mike. Yeah, I always like having Coach Mike Sanford join the show. He gave his perspective on Travis Hunter winning the Heisman versus Ashton Genty.
Hey, check this out. An hour and 15 minutes in. Yeah, we did that.
Watch the ocean. This has happened multiple times because yesterday that happened.
Yeah, just got on, bro. Was Bucky on yet? Yeah, at the beginning of the show. We're done now.
He's gonna pull back. You gotta watch the whole show.
I just got on. You guys covering the portal yet, bro? Yeah, we've been doing this for an hour and 15 minutes. My back is killing me. I gotta fucking get up off this chair. I want to go not do anything the rest of the day. You're gonna have to hit rewind, homie, or maybe go to Sports Center because we made Sports. Yeah. Just saying, it's nice to go to Sports Center. Check that out, Sports Center, bitch. Courtesy of the 0 to 60 podcast. Who's to say you can't fucking just sit in your living room and talk shit and get on Sports Center?
Yeah. Shout out to ESPN, Sports Center, and all those for crediting
Shout out to Bucky for dropping that dime. I'm telling you, Bucky is the fucking point guard at CU Boulder. He's the reincarnation of fucking Chauncey Billups and Spencer Dinwiddie. They just be like, your turn.
Point guard. Hey, shout out to Bucky dropping that gem on our show. And that's huge. And shout out to Travis as well. And before we get out of here, what's this about, Matt?
Hey, what happened here? What happened?
So
first of all, what was Shannon Sharp's advice for Travis Hunter? To run for the hills?
I don't know.
I'd imagine that's what it was, right? Because Michael Irvin's going after Shannon, right?
Here's what I don't understand. If they're so tight, why is he calling him out on Twitter? Like if you and I, like, I wouldn't say that about something you posted on Twitter. Like, what? I don't understand. Like,
it's all a TV show. That's why. Yeah, I don't know, bro. This is what I'm talking about. You've got athletes commenting on people's relationships. Athletes are the worst people in all of relationships. We're terrible at relationships.
Yeah, I don't understand why.
We are terrible. Athletes are always looking for something new and like, fucking, it's never good enough. And I need a new contract and I need you to cater to me. It's the fuck, man. They're terrible. Like, what the fuck? And athlete and chicks that go after athletes with big money have an agenda, and they don't tell me they don't. Even the hot one that falls in love with you in college, she Googled you. And she was like, "Oh, he's a 5-star. He could probably make it to the NFL."
Well,
you don't think these fucking bitches have that conversation? You're crazy.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't understand. Like I said, I don't understand why Michael Irvin would have to call out Sharp publicly about his comments, which, again, we're commenting on this and not commenting on, like Travis Hunter's the NIL collective thing, where he's putting money back into it, paying for teammates. Instead, we're focused on Travis Hunter's.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Travis is doing such good things, and everyone's still talking about this bachelorette bullshit. Look, man. Travis and his girl have the right to be happy or fuck it up, just like everybody else.
Yeah, well said.
So it's like the whole gay marriage thing. Like, I'm not getting gay married, so what the fuck do I care? And they have the right to be as miserable as everybody else. So who gives a fuck? Pay taxes.
Pay taxes. Pay taxes.
I don't give a fuck. Like, if Travis wants to get in the line to lose half of his shit, that he can do that. If he gets a prenup, high five. If he doesn't, then I'm sure he's in love. Love.
Yeah. Well, there you have it. Again, media, move on from this Travis Hunter girlfriend shit. Jesus, like there's a lot going on in this college football landscape, man. I think it's wild times right now, man.
We definitely need to get Travis Hunter, or you know who would be a great bachelor? Prime.
Oh, no.
You want to set ratings fucking numbers through the goddamn roof. You think people fucking watch football?
People watch football. Yeah.
People watch football, dog. Woo! Okay, we can call it get recruited by Prime. Bam. You would have chicks lining up from here to fucking Kansas, homie. There would be a line down I-80.
Oh. I'm sure.
Just push up
people would watch it.
Asses out.
It would be wild.
Look, you don't think look, I know Coach Prime's a man of God, but he is a single man. Okay? I bet you Coach Prime he's active, to say the least.
Oh, I'm sure. I don't know. No.
Yeah. I don't know though. You think like Boulder, there's some granola bitches in Boulder, dog. I don't know. I think Coach Prime's like, that'd be weird.
Oh, boy, Matt. Now what have you started? Oh, no.
I haven't started anything. I'm just saying. You think if Prime can pull a recruit, it's just like Coach JB said. If you can't get any, does he want you as a coach?
Yeah, if you can't get no pussy.
You don't have a gift of gab, you can't recruit. So, yeah, the guy who's like, well, I haven't gotten laid in 5 years. You're fired. You're fucking fired.
Fired. JB is like, fired. Fuck out of here. I'm like, JB.
There's a lot of upside down pineapples in Boulder too. What's an upside down pineapple?
I'm curious as to what that means.
What is an upside down pineapple? Please, I'm intrigued. Why the carrot? What's the carrot have to do? Oh,
make sure you tag the show, Coach Stokes. Well, Matt, great show on this fine Tuesday.
No, fuck you, Bailey. I want to know what an upside down pineapple is, and if Jeremy doesn't tell me, swingers.
Oh, there you go.
Swingers. So,
where's he going with this one?
Shit, I don't know. What do you mean swing? Like Coach Prime is. No, we're not going down this road. I don't know where you're trying to go, Jeremy, but I don't like it.
Me neither. Great show. It's fine Tuesday. Matt, we'll be back on Thursday. Be sure to like the clips. Check out 0 to 60 on SportsCenter, Bleacher Report, Yahoo Sports. I'm missing, I'm sure, a couple, but check out
everywhere, bitch. We're on SportsCenter. What?
Check it out. We'll be back on Thursday. We got a lot to talk about, of course. Wild West, the college football transfer portal.
I'm moving to Boulder.
Nude gardening is legal in Boulder. Chat, yo, unbelievable. Matt, any closing words before we get out of here?
Yeah. Hey, Miss Parker. You don't know that because you've never seen Friday. You young.
Again, Matt, you didn't hire me to watch fucking movies.
Well, I mean, fuck, man. What do you do with your free time?
Make this show. Shit. A lot of my time.
All I do is sit in front of my computer, Matt. That's it.
And lift weights. And yeah.
Weights and computer, bro.
Yes. But we'll be back on Thursday. We appreciate you. Hit that like button, subscribe, become a member.
Unless ESPN comes calling, I'll come back on Thursday. But I could be gone one day. Fuck.
Yeah, ESPN.
I'm gonna hit the transfer portal. I'm gonna hit the media transfer portal.
Media transfer portal.
No.
All right. Well, we'll see you on Thursday. We appreciate you watching. We'll see you soon. Peace.